Good morning, it is Friday, righty, we are just starting to rub up the wall. This is what we got pointed yesterday. Cam's been using like a little trowel. I've just been using a little bit of wood just to get it going. Like I say, before we went yesterday, we gave the mortar a bit of a beating back, but because it was going off quite well actually, so we just beat it with a brush basically just to really compress the joints. Some people just actually beat it with a brush and leave it and just literally leave it like that just because it gives that sort of texture. But so what we've done, we're just beating it back like this, and then what we do now is just go around just because it's absolutely perfect at the minute. Go around, little trowel will do. I like using like a little bit of wood, just basically something that's not going to leave a mark on the mortar, and just sort of just go around the stone a little bit just to sort of beat off any excess mortar around the stone, just to create a bit more of a shape. Like that. And then obviously that'll do for a minute because it's still quite, you know, it's still quite wet. It is going off actually, this. We've really compacted it because we did a dry mix, so that's quite good. But it's got to keep an eye on it because you don't want it drying out too quick. So maybe if it does stay dry all day, we will just sort of mist it over just to keep it, and obviously keep it covered, because the Hessian we're using is quite waterproof. So normal traditional Hessian with the holes and that will let a bit of moisture through. But anyway, so we're going to crack on and just sort of lightly go over everything we've pointed. Still got a bit up there which we haven't scratched up or anything yet. Get this bit done, and I'm just going to fill in this bit now, sort of take down them couple of courses, bang them back in, get all that done. Cam's going to just carry on, really probably the bottom, and then we'll just work like that really, just keep going all the way along, try and smash a good chunk out today. Like I say, just yeah, keep an eye on it. It is Friday, so what we'll do is make sure that, you know, when we're pointing, we're trying to point, get right in there, because obviously it's Friday, you might not get the opportunity to obviously come in and, like, you know, beat it back. Whereas obviously if you're coming in the next day, you can just sort of, you know, put your pointing in. You don't really have to worry about it too much. But obviously because it's going to be left for 2 days, we just want to make sure A, it's all compressed in them joints, and B, obviously it's as neat as possible. With lime, you can brush it up ages and ages, even like months after you've pointed. It's not like cement at all. But obviously the way I see it is, obviously the less you disturb it, the better really. So as long as you're getting it in them joints nice, hard and compressed, you know, you shouldn't really have a problem. And like I say, it's just about, you know, making sure it's quite damp and obviously protected for the next couple of days. You're obviously not going to be with it, you know what I mean? So obviously making sure, give it a good spraying up, drop the Hessian down, leave it alone, do you know what I mean? Just so it's got that protection from the frost, and obviously it won't cure too fast, because obviously if lime cures too fast, or basically dries too fast, you've got a good high chance of it cracking and basically failing. So you just got to get that happy medium where you keep a bit of moisture in it, and yeah, but then obviously not letting, because you've got moisture in it, you don't want the frost to get to it, hence why we cover it with Hessian, because if that freezes, it's just going to expand and pop out your mortar. But anyway, enough waffling, crack on with today. Like I say, make this a little bit neater, just like it is really, don't have to go too far. Like I say, we are trying to match what we've got, so it's not like a, you know, proper like prim perfect job, but obviously we want it to look nice, but obviously we do want it to fit in. So as you can see, that pointing is absolutely caked on this wall. As you can see, obviously wasn't trimmed. Basically what I'm doing now, that wasn't done obviously on this wall, so but we are going to do it on this, because obviously, you know, you want to keep to your own standard and that. But like I say, we just want it to match in quite nice. You want it to keep it looking like an old wall, and yeah, lovely jubbly. So we don't have to worry about it too much, but we want to keep it just a little bit neater than that patch there really, just so every single stone is exposed. Righty, let's crack on, and yeah, hope this weather holds out, and job will be a good one. Lovely jubbly. Get down on it. Get down on it. Very satisfying, very therapeutic. Just watching it go in. Oh, when I first started walling, I literally was not a fan of pointing at all. I just wanted to build and build, but like when you get jobs like this, it's just lovely. I absolutely really do look like, really enjoy it. Like it's just satisfying. Especially this wall is going to look very nice. Nice old wall. Yeah. Love and care. New lease in life. It's quite nice. This mortar today is a bit wetter. Not too bad really, it's pretty spot on to what we normally use, but just because it is Friday and obviously over the weekend we won't be able to, you know, we're not going to be here basically, so what we'll do is we obviously just apply it a bit wetter and obviously actually point a bit neater. Just so when it comes to Monday, we'll try and beat it back today as well. Just compress it all, you know, knock it all back before we go. Obviously, once we knock that back, like that, should we say, you know, it's not, the stone's not messy. And then obviously when we come in Monday, we can then go over a bit of wood or a little trowel or something just to scratch it off and just obviously evaluate it Monday. But yeah, like I say, just keep it slightly wetter. Obviously it'll be covered as well, the Hessian, so but we've got no risks of the nasty frosts. You know, still quite mild weather like, so we're alright, but it'll be covered anyway, so even if we do get a frost, nice thick Hessian always sorts it out. So it's getting it quite neat as possible really, but you know, don't have to worry about it too much. Like I say, a wetter mix like this will be wet for like a good week or so. It'll still be, you know, easily playable. Ooh, bits like that where the stone's touching, it's quite difficult. Got to really work it in there. The style on this one's alright. We're going to rake it back a bit further, so we don't have to worry about getting it too flush. Because like I say, some people just flop it on there, but we're going to knock it all back and obviously expose the stone, and we want the mortar to basically sit further back than the stone. The mortar is, as you can see, is obviously wet. You know, it's really workable, but it is quite firm. So obviously a little bit of compression literally bangs it in. But you know what I mean, it's not wet enough to obviously stain the stone, so it is lovely. It is spot on. It's a bit dry in there. Oh, I think I've got to this point here. I'm just going to go up to this point and then get back up. Right there. On these, on the bigger bits, it's probably just worth using a little trowel just to get it in like that, and then you can go back to your little square and leaf. That's coming, getting on good. Like I say, once you got all the prep done, it's nice and easy to fly away. Fly away. I haven't got a brush out, but even just pointing that little section now, you know, let's get a bit of a glove, go over it. Like I say, if it's too wet, you don't want to be doing it, but you can just sort of see. Just really getting it in, it just sort of makes it nice and compact already, because it's probably a bit too wet to use a brush or you know, to whack it back and that, but it's just, this just really just makes it set into everything. And sort of when you got to this point, you know, but even that really, like I say, you know, give it a good beating back with a brush, then that will let it go off. Probably before we go home tonight, we'll probably do that, like a, you know, a good beating. But yeah, like I say, even like that, and then just let that, you know, leave that be, and then obviously once that dries off a little bit, you can go around the stone. Obviously starting, because if you do that now, look, if you watch, I don't know if you can see really, but you know, it's just smudging onto the stone there, look, easy. And then it just makes more work for yourself. Just give it a nice little beating back. Like I say, I just use my hands most of the time for this section anyway, and then obviously, like I say, before we go, beat it back, then that'll be enough. Go around with a trowel, just sort of like what we've done up there. But you know, and then probably the final brush up on that bit will be Monday, so. No, I just want to crack on, get a load done today, like I say. Keep it nice and damp, and no, we're doing good. We're doing good. Quickly take my gloves off. No, yeah, I say we're working along now. Obviously just got into that bit. But yeah, no, we just, like I say, got a few to fill in there. And stuff, but yeah, we're just sort of slowly, as you can see, slowly brushing it up. That's the difference, as you can see. That bit there hasn't been scratched off, whereas this has. So it's all been beaten back, and then obviously we just rubbed over it with a glove, just to try and neaten it up. Obviously that still needs scratching off, so you can actually see the difference in colour. So you can see this bit here, if you you know, scratch this off, it's quite flush up here. Lovely. Like I say, really, that is this bit now. We'll probably crack on with this actually first thing, because what we do, we'll get all this scratched, and then we'll actually dampen this down, because it is we've got a nice breeze coming in today, so we just don't want that drying too quick. So yeah, like I say, we'll have a coffee, and then we'll probably just, well, scratch it all up to that state, and then dampen it down. Obviously just spray it with the bottle, keep it nice and moist, and then yeah, boof, sort of leave that. Then that can literally stay like that. I had to build that up this morning, so that's still quite wet, so we'll probably just leave that alone. Obviously just give it a beating back. But yeah, no, it's just really just got to let the lime tell you, feel it. You know, you soon get used to lime, and you soon get used to what, you know, what state it's in and stuff, so you know where you're at really. But like I say, we do normally we we sort of do it a bit more organised, but we just had to double check the colouring and stuff. So yes, we're doing all right. But now I suppose if I stand back, we're pretty much on it. Like I say, I just want to get, well, we've got down to that point now, so get all that scratched up. That section's done. Get this bit in, you know, get this bit in today, then you know, you sort of know where you're at. Then it's just good to work like that. We always try and work from the top of the wall to the bottom, just in sections, just so it's easier to cover as well. Like last night, we only put one bit of Hessian over the wall there. Anyway, let's have a slurp of coffee and crack on with this afternoon. Lovely jubbly.